This is 36. The cinema tells us there's a narrative arc to dating when you're young. Meet cute, run into each other one or two more times, and ask her out, go out 2 or 3 times, sleep together, become an item. From there, it either runs its course or you get married, depending on the sort of film you're watching. It almost never worked like that for me. In all honesty, during and right after college, I either ended up in bed with a woman on the first date or there wasn't a second. There never seemed to be any in between, not for lack of trying. I took one woman to a concert where we danced to Foghat all night. She kissed me goodnight on her doorstep, and I thought all was fine, but she was never interested in going out again. Or another woman, whom I'd long been lightly acquainted with, went with me to the movies, and then to a party where we made out on the porch all night, but she was never interested in a second date either. I assumed it had something to do with me. Perhaps they could perceive the wreckage that surrounded me, warning lights flashing, don't get too close, or maybe it had nothing to do with me at all. They were in the midst of their own stories, after all, and not just bit players in mine. Sometimes, with the protective layers of marriage and decades between us, I'm tempted to track them down and ask what happened, but I don't know where to begin that conversation. Some I don't know how to find or even entirely remember their names, and the rest are now casual connections on Facebook and Twitter, faces I see flip by on my computer screen, along with status updates about their marriages and children, about their jobs and scores on Wordle. Is there any way to look back and ask, what happened? Why didn't we work? Is there any way to breach that conversation without the appearance of wanting to rekindle something? Because really, I don't. I've already seen how those movies end. Perhaps it's best not to stage an autopsy of history, to dissect the details of small failings. And what if they did tell you, and there were apologies owed? Could I face long dormant culpability, a blame I never realized existed? This phantom looms larger than any sin I could have possibly unwittingly committed, begging questions. What are you afraid of? How can you feel guilty for things you don't remember, things which may have never happened? Why is it best to not disturb the graves of stillborn love?